Monday and Monday never comes. I go on a holiday soon and I really want a bigger bum and a smaller waist. Can you help?
Look, if you wanna come gym, make sure you put the work in. Some wanna get fit, some wanna get slim, some wanna start competing, but enough of them just can't stop cheating. When their belly is full, they're still eating. Me, I practice what I'm teaching. They don't live what they're preaching. It's a lifestyle.
What's up, Fit Fam? This is Giovanni of Gio's Logic, your host of Fitness Junkies. I hope this show meets you in good health and spirits, and if not, I hope it inspires you to do something about it. Well, I am so excited. It's so great to be able to say I knew this brother when, and where he's come from and where he's going is really exciting. What's up, Ryan?
What's going on? It's so nice to be back on here.
Yes.
It is.
Man, you've accomplished something huge. Only a few men in the universe ever do. You qualified for Olympia.
Yes, it's still like surreal to me. It's just like, wow. And it's I have such like a humble type of like personality when it comes to accomplishing things, because I don't believe in like gloating. So sometimes it's like I really have to kind of really embrace the fact that I've really achieved something that unfortunately, even as a pro, most pros will never actually achieve.
Yeah. I wonder what the numbers are, especially in your division.
Oh, they're very...
Like 100, 200, maybe 300 over the year. It hasn't been going on for more than 10 years.
Yeah, it's very slim, because most of the time you have a lot of guys who are repeat guys, and of course you have us new guys in the mix. I'm happy just to be one of the new guys in the mix, you know what I mean? So I'm freaking ecstatic, to be completely honest.
Wow, man. When I saw you did, I mean, because I'm watching your struggle on IG, and I'm like, oh, man, he looks good, but like, you know, figuring out what the judges want.
Yeah.
And like, do you have the right look? Do you have the right smile? Am I too short? Am I too? I mean, there's so much going through your head, I'm sure.
No, absolutely. Last year, where I placed 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and I had a 7th place placing. I did 5 shows last year, and definitely the show that I came in 2nd was a little bit discouraging. It kind of, and almost kind of broke me because I felt that I deserved to win the show, but I'm also not one to question. You know, if I left any room for there to be a question if I was the winner, clear cut, then that means that I just wasn't that great that day, you know? So my opinion is my opinion, but it's not for me to get online and disrespect the IFBB Pro League by saying, oh, well, I got robbed. It's a amazing community. It's an amazing business. It's an amazing everything for us as athletes. So sometime when people get on there and they spew these things out, you have to understand that they have so much on their plate, you know, and it may not always work out in your favor, but that's like disrespecting your own house. Like, you know, would you walk around and call your house dirty? You wouldn't do that.
Right.
So I believe in the IFBB Pro League. They have literally changed my life in a lot of different aspects, and I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. When you talk, bring this up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You got that cool voice going, you know.
Yeah, let me get a little bit closer.
Yeah, make love to that mic. So wow, man. I'm like I've been we've done some stuff together with the show.
Yeah.
So I know how hard you put in to training, and I was on IG. I saw this a while back. Can you play that first clip?
It's what you're willing to do. Everybody hear me? It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. I know plenty of people that are capable. I know fewer people that are willing. You know what I mean? Will is a powerful thing. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do?
Man, that's some words. That's that really embodies what it takes to be a top competitor in bodybuilding, or really just in any aspect of life. Me personally, the difference maker was just, it's kind of say, I knew that I was capable, and I felt like that I was already sacrificing for my success until I sat down and said, am I really actually truly sacrificing to get to the level that I want to be at?
Right.
Am I honestly giving everything that I can to my prep and just to every other aspect? Am I truly saying, hey, pushing things away so that I can make sure that I focus on being the best competitor? And I realized that I wasn't. I also realized that in the gym that even though I've worked out with great people, and my brother Ellis or whatever, who was my training partner, who was great, but I also realized that I had to hire a trainer who was just selfish to me. I needed somebody it's about every rep that I'm taking, the success of it, the push. I needed that so that I can be able to go into the next level, that it's just all the BS is cut out. And that was a financial commitment, you know, because for a good trainer, it's not necessarily inexpensive. You know? And the ones,
for a bad trainer,
and the ones, you know, and sometimes for bad trainers, it's also not, so it's also very expensive as well. So, shout out to Amanda. She is my trainer. Absolutely amazing.
A lady?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, she's actually Keon, 212 Olympia champ. It's his girl, Amanda.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know she trains.
But she's an entity.
I thought she was a photographer.
No, you're maybe thinking about Chiron.
Oh,
We're talking about Keon, the 212 champ.
Okay.
Olympia champ, his girl Amanda, but she's an entity all her own. She's not eclipsed by his shadow of his greatness by herself. Absolutely amazing trainer. She actually knows what she's doing. She's been to school for it. She's been around a sport for a really long time. And she truly helped me change my physique.
Yeah, man.
I owe so much.
You
to
walked
her.
in here and, like you said, the whole top shelf is stacked.
Yeah, man. She got me together, but not just even as a trainer, but just as a friend, just in my ear, the positive reinforcement, the push, and but yeah, I definitely pushed away everything. I was a little bit, I was a little bit behind. I went to Hawaii with my wife at the end of April, and I thought that I was kind of on track, and I got a reality check from my coach, and he looks at me and says, I mean, you look like you look natural. You don't even look like you even supplement or anything. You know, and that was like, you know, that stung really bad, because I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, but.
Same coach?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. Neil's the greatest. I ain't going anywhere. So, you know, but he's real, and he expressed it, said, hey, you know, I know you want to get on stage, but we might not be ready. You know, there was some things that needed to be changed as far as a protocol that we kind of were able to kind of pinpoint. So once we changed those things and I started pushing, I just really had to put my head down at that point. I literally pushed everything away. And sometimes for people that's hard to do, because I lost a lot of friends in the process. Family will try to look at you differently.
Stress on your family. Yeah.
I've had to push away financial opportunities, you know, but for me, this year was Olympia or bust. I don't want to be the people's champ. I was the people's champ last year. Oh, that's great. You place top 5. You're always in the first call out. All that is cool.
Right.
But at the point that I'm at now, it's time to win shows, you know, and especially with, it's the 60th anniversary of the Olympia. It's back here in Vegas. How could I?
Yeah.
Do you understand the feeling I would have to not be a part of that as a competitor? And I'm having to watch other people who I know that I probably, you know, have a more competitive physique than them be there on that prestigious stage. And I'm not a part of that. That's,
yeah.
It would have been demoralizing.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me about how that show almost defeated you. Were you about to give it up and say no more?
Well, I don't know about give up, but I had been in prep for a really long time. And I mean, it was one of those things that going into it, I was like, I was feeling good. I felt like my physique was really getting to like the best that I've ever had it, to the point that my wife wasn't originally coming. But when I got there, I said, you know what? Let me just buy you a plane ticket. It was the day after my birthday. And I'm like, I'm going to buy you a plane ticket because I feel like this is the one. My friend Ellis, he's my barber and one of my best friends, he drove down to Phoenix. So I'm just like, I just felt like everything was the one.
Right.
And I went there and I was happy that I came in second, but I also felt like that maybe, you know, I felt like I was good enough for the win. And mentally, I tried to put it off. I really didn't feel the effects until the very next week. I went and did San Diego, where I came in third, which Jonas won that show. Really great friend. Shout out to Jonas. He lives here in Vegas now. Amazing, amazing guy. But after that, my mind just started to deteriorate. Because that show where I came in second made me so sour, and it made me feel like, gosh, I put in the work. I put in the work. Why didn't I get the result that I wanted? After I came out of the funk that I was in, I had to check myself and say, was there a day that you missed a meal? Yes. Was there a day that you didn't drink all your water? Yes. Was there a day that you ate something you weren't supposed to eat? Yes. So how can you complain about not winning if you weren't even disciplined to yourself for the win? And that's hard for self-reflection, because how can I complain about not getting the result that I want when I'm not doing everything in my power that I can? If I'm doing every single thing 100% that I can, and I get to the stage and it doesn't shake out, I can at least say, you know what? I gave it everything that I could. It's just not my day, because every day's not going to be your day.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have a lot of amazing athletes who are friends, who I look up to, who are just absolutely amazing. So every day's not going to be your day. So I can't complain about not being number one if I only gave it 90%.
Ouch. Yeah,
you know?
That's a hell of a realization, man.
But it's a hard one, though, because at first your first thing is to blame everybody. You want to blame everybody else. You want to blame this. You want to blame that.
Right.
Because it's easier. It's easier to fit your narrative, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But then you have to sit back and say, okay, let me take accountability for what I didn't do. And let's change those things the next go around, and then see what the success rate would be.
Right.
And once those changes were made, 3 weeks ago, I came out on top. I won the Mile High Pro.
Was there a show in between? How many shows were in between that? Oh, and you said you did a show the following week.
Yeah, I did San Diego. And
came in third.
Yeah, that was in the second week of August of last year. And then there was nothing in between until I got back to the show in May. I did the Optimum Classic towards the end of May. I came in fourth place there, which, we always had the Mile High Pro circle on our calendar. The Optimum Classic was a little bit, nothing is ever meant to be a warm-up, so to speak, so I hate to classify it as that.
Right.
Because every pro show is a pro show. But it was one that we decided that, okay, we're in shape, so let's go ahead and do it, because we'll know we'll be sharper in a couple weeks if we don't hit the mark. So had I won Optimum Classic, I would have went and did the Miami Pro, just because I'm playing with house money. I'm already qualified.
Right.
Let's go out here and just have a good time.
Right.
But the Mile High Pro was always circled just from a strategic standpoint, so to speak. So yeah, almost, what is that, maybe 8 months, 9 months in between. It took me, but out of those 9 months, it took me 3 to 4 months to get out my own way.
Right.
Because I just was like, whatever.
Right. Did you go far off the ranch, meaning like with your eating and your training in that period? I mean, you went through winter.
I went a little bit
far
off, though. Yeah. I definitely did. I definitely kind of...
Might have been good.
Yeah. I mean, I took some time to enjoy myself, but I would never let myself get back into that space ever again, though,
Okay.
because the amount that I hurt myself and my physique during that time, had I just even maintained something that was just a little bit decent, it would have been easier moving forward. So I had to kind of rebuild. I lost a lot of muscle. That, you know, I didn't properly rebound. I didn't take it serious. So, you know, I had to really fight to get a lot of that back.
Talk to me about the other side of it, the side of it where you are blaming the other people, you are blaming the judges, you are blaming the look that they may be going for, that you might have at some point felt that maybe there's something against my look. Because you have a certain look.
No,
that's
absolutely. Well, I will say that I do feel that my look is men's physique, and I feel like, you know, now they're more tailoring towards my look. It's a great time for me to be in men's physique. But the other side of that is just, man, sometimes it sucks because you have to look at a lineup and you say, okay, let's look at the guys who are going to be competitive. Like, example, somebody like an Alex Toppin, tall guy, super amazing physique. If I look at the lineup of people that's there and I see that there's a couple other tall guys, me being a shorter guy, no matter how great I look and everything like that, there is a possibility that I'm going to kind of get pushed to the outside, because if he's the metric, if he's somebody who's the front runner to win the show,
right,
and then you're comparing based off of him, and there's other tall guys who are also in shape, how do you naturally not kind of
bunch them together?
You know what I mean? Unless you're just so completely, like for instance, like Ali Bilal, who won Pittsburgh and New York with a physique that was just so insane that it wouldn't have mattered if a guy was 7 foot tall or 4 foot tall. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was no denying how great he looked.
Right.
But in the instance where things are kind of close and you're splitting hairs, yeah, you know, and as competitors, naturally, because we're all competitive, we're all going to get off the stage and be like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, I felt like I felt like I looked better. I felt like I was more conditioned. And it kind of goes back into I'm disciplined enough that before I get online and blame somebody else, let me do the homework on myself.
Right.
Let me go back and look at my pictures. Was I actually as in condition as I thought I was? Was my posing as great as I thought it was? Did I start to fade once we started being compared? A lot of guys don't pay attention to that aspect of it. I'm just not really big on playing the blame game too much.
That's
you know,
good.
That's
good.
Because what is it going to change?
Nothing.
I can get online and say, oh my gosh, the judges, they effed me over. They did all this. They did all that. Is it going to change your placing? Nobody's going to call you and say, hey, you know what? We're sorry. You were right. We're going to give you first place instead. That's not how it works. It's not going to change anything.
No.
So why get online and hurt your image? And if you think that the Pro League, the IFBB Pro League, is not watching what you post and what you say, you are so sadly mistaken. Where's the camera? Let me make sure I look. New pros, because right now it's a season where you have a lot of new pros coming into the league from the national shows. If you do not think that our president, Tyler Mannion, is not looking at your page, you are sadly mistaken. We are a representation of the IFBB Pro League in the men's physique division, or any division, so to speak. They are watching.
Yeah.
Because it's how you conduct yourself. Yes, there are a lot of us, but we're a lot, but we're few. So don't think that we're so vastly big that somebody's not like, hey, because even if he didn't see it, he's a top dog. Do you don't think that somebody might say, hey, did you see this kid online?
Ryan Clark,
what he was saying? What he was saying? And they'll say, oh, really?
Right.
Because that guy, most of the time, he knows everybody's name. He's a very smart, very intelligent. I love the direction that he's taken the division. He knows 9 times out of 10, he knows exactly who you are, even though you don't think it.
Right.
He knows who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's is it worth all of that for just a moment because you're angry that you automatically get online and you start posting and putting subliminals and sometimes even tagging? And no.
Right.
If you know what, when I had my situation where I felt the way I felt about it, the blog, the Men's Physique News and all those places, they posted their results, and I just let the comments speak for me. You know, there were 100+ comments that expressed exactly how I felt.
Oh wow.
So it wasn't so what was the need for me
Nothing
to say anything?
That's
what I
beautiful.
what I wanted to say was already being said.
Love it.
So I got to express how I felt without damaging my own image.
Right.
Because the image matters. You have to be marketable. You have to be somebody who they don't feel is that you're going to turn on the league or give the league a black eye. They will never put you in that position if they don't feel that you're fit to be a good champ.
Right. Right. And also you talk about the league and the judges, and if you are going to diss your judges, a lot of those judges are the same judges that are going to put you up. And there's a lot of, human nature there. Like,
absolutely,
you have to not only have a relationship with them and build a relationship with them. There's a lot of things that they're like you said, like they can go into it as neutral as possible, and then something can happen, or someone can come on stage, or 2 or 3 guys, and they pair them together, and they might even just lose track of you, and it's not personal. Yeah, and
it's
you take it personal and then go after them, and then you blew your...
Yeah, because you're going to have to see these judges again. Most of these judges that are around, they're going to be around for a while.
Yes.
They've been around for a while. They're going to continue to be around for a while. So you're going to... Why would you damage your image with somebody who... If you plan to stay around the league, you're going to have to come back in front of them.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it's one of those things that, people talk about politics and it's always put with a negative connotation on it a lot of the times, but eventually politics will hurt you, but politics are also eventually going to help you. It's 2 sides to the coin.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to a day where you're on stage and it's a toss-up, it's a flip of the coin, who should get the win and who shouldn't, when it's that close, when you've had that good relationship with a couple of people, do you not think that those politics and those things that you've the work and the rapport and the relationships that you've built over the years isn't going to work in your favor? Of course they are. Even
if they don't think about it
subconsciously. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that a lot of people think that it's a conscious decision from a person.
Yep.
Subconsciously, right now, I know you. So even if we were in a room full of 100 people and I'm scanning the room, because my mind's going to register that I know your face, I'm going to be able to pick you out of a crowd.
Right.
And it's not, even if I'm not intentionally looking for you,
right,
I'm going to say, oh, yeah.
Familiar.
There he is right there.
Yeah.
It's a subconscious. Yeah. It's a subconscious thing, and that's great that you said that, because a lot of athletes think that a judge is consciously saying, I'm not going to give you the win or anything. But that also goes back into playing into, if you bring a physique that just can't be denied or can't be put in any other place but first, then it doesn't matter whether conscious, subconscious, no matter what,
right,
you'll come out on top.
Right, right.
When you give room to make it a close thing, then that's when all of those other things start to factor in. All of those other things are on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Speak a little bit more about how, like Mike Tomlin said, you're willing to do what it takes to get to where you're at now, and how that affected your lady, your family. You talked about how you lost friends.
Yeah.
That's a different space.
Yes,
Not too many people.
It's definitely a different space. Most people will look at you like you're crazy, because of course you have the people who will say, well, I mean, it's just one meal, or you can't just have one drink, or you can't just hang out. I mean, we're not even eating. You can't just hang out, or And it's no, I can't, because once I got into the mentality, you know, of course, literally not, I don't mean this necessarily literally, but more figuratively, I'm willing to die for this. I'm willing to kill myself at the gym. I don't care if it hurts. As long as I'm not going to injure myself, I'm going to push through. I don't care about if somebody's upset because they couldn't get this time with me. Hey, look, if you don't understand, then you aren't meant to be in my circle. I'm fortunate that my wife understands. So we don't really have those type of rifts when it comes to me being deep in prep and being on top of my stuff. I'm very fortunate in that aspect that I don't have these pointless arguments about choosing to that, because understand that it's a sacrifice on her end as well. There's not the date nights. There's not the hanging out late. There's a lot of things that I can't do. She also sacrifices to make sure that she doesn't put junk food in the house when I'm deep in prep. You know, there are things that she completely removes because she doesn't want to put temptation in my way.
Yep.
And that's really rare. But yeah, this was probably the most closed off I've ever been during a prep. My circle was extremely small. I was also very fortunate to have some really great people outside of my wife really be there and have my back through this process as well. Very small amount of people, but their help was invaluable when it comes to so much. So that was a blessing in itself.
Play the other clip for me.
Leader and fan of your partner, you're not that far away from the ruin of that relationship. There are 8 billion people in the world, and you picked this person as the one you're going to have the most intimate relationship with. If you can't have kind words for them the majority of the time, whether to them or to third parties talking about them, you made a wrong choice.
You're right about that. That is absolutely correct.
And it's like I know they always say, behind every great man is a great woman, and your story is exemplifying that. And having that kind of like, I know you need this, so I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader because
absolutely,
I know you need this.
Because a lot of people don't understand how many days during my prep, like, somebody would see me and be like, man, you look amazing. Do you understand how many days I wake up and I feel like I look like shit? I look in the mirror and I hate what I see, and it's just like, the mornings where you wake up flat and you just feel like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? And having somebody to give that. See, it's a difference though between giving positive reinforcement and appeasing you. Somebody who appeases you, that's dangerous. Because when somebody speaks you up too much, what it does is starts to form complacency, because you say, oh, well, they said I look amazing. So you know what? I can eat these cookies. I'm already in a good place. Or I can slack off and not have this meal because this person told me that I look phenomenal.
Right.
Right. You have to have somebody that gives you positive reinforcement but doesn't appease you. Hey, no, you don't look like shit. But hey, just go have a good workout, eat your meals. You might feel better before the day is over. Doing what you're supposed to do is going to help the way that you look.
Right.
Just get on top of your things. Like for me, honestly, when it comes to how I look when I'm like deep in prep, the only person who word matters about my physique is my coach. He is the only person who, if he tells me I look good, then I'll put a smile on my face and say, okay. I won't get complacent, but I'll say, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, he is the person he's always going to be the most honest with me. He doesn't pull any punches. If I look like shit, he's going to say I look like shit. If I look great, he's going to say I look great. And he might say, hey, well, you're looking good, but there's still some more work to do. So outside of my coach, he is the only person who truly can make me say, okay, I feel like I'm actually doing a good job. And for some people that might not work. But for me, it has to be that way. Because ultimately he is the person who is setting my program, who's going to say, hey, we're going to get on stage or we're not going to get on stage. Who's going to be able to say, hey, I know for a fact that you weren't fucking following the plan because I'm looking at your check-ins and it doesn't look that way. You know, you cannot hide anything from this man, I promise you. And he's one of those people that do not lie to him. Neil is an amazing coach. He has a lot of athletes and he cares. But if you lie to him, no matter how great you are, you can be the greatest there ever was. If you lie to him, he will stop coaching you. He just doesn't believe in that.
Yeah.
So even if you fucked off on your diet, then just be honest about it. You know? You hurt yourself when you're not honest with your coach about what you did. We're human. We're all going to have our weak points, you know? But if you don't give your coach the knowledge and he looks at your check-ins and he says, damn, well, why do you look this way? Oh, coach, I forgot to tell you that I ate a whole pack of Oreos. You know what I mean? So, you know.
I had a bad night.
Exactly. You have to tell me these things. Oh, coach, I'm stressed about this. That's why, you know, he asked about my stress levels. He's truly asked about, hey, what's going on? Is your sleep good? How's family life? How's home life? How are things at home? Like, you know, he makes sure that he's taking into account all the factors that go into the way your physique looks, you know?
Yeah. So let's get a little bit more granular here. What are some of the key points that you think that were key? Obviously, your new trainer was a big key.
Absolutely.
Your shoulders, your whole upper body looks so different. And I haven't seen you in a few months at least, but like you keep talking about your meals. Were you eating more? Like what? Talk to me what changed.
Definitely was able to eat a lot more throughout this prep. The food was pretty high most of the time, and even when we kind of went to low carbs, it was still higher than what it was last year.
Like how many calories do you know?
Honestly, I'm not one of those who even.
You just eat the meal?
I just do the plan. I'll be honest with you. If you ever come to me asking for like the macros and stuff like that, I'm gonna just say, hey, yeah.
Ask my coach.
Ask my coach. I'm just following the plan. You know,
how do you prepare it? Does your wife prepare it? Like, how do you know how much?
I actually no. I mean, my coach sends me a meal plan that's very, very,
like
very
6
precise.
Ounces of salmon.
Yeah.
Okay, and you weigh
This
it
many
out
grams,
and all that.
Yeah. I actually personally pretty much make every meal myself.
Oh wow.
And I don't prep for days.
Okay.
I literally make my food every single day.
Wow.
I make my food every single day.
How many meals usually?
6 meals a day.
Damn, that's hard.
6 meals a day. I make my food every day. Especially when I'm deep in prep,
it's part of your ritual.
I don't have the trust of anybody to make my food.
Okay.
I need to know that it's prepared exactly the way that I needed to be prepared.
Wow.
So there's no question in my mind that if my body does something weird when I eat something, I can know that it's not because somebody put some butter or put some seasoning or did something that they think that was going to be beneficial to me that actually hurt me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
How much olive oil I put on something. Like, you know, like I got into a routine where it's just like this.
Right.
I've learned how to season my food with very, very, very low sodium, but to still make my food taste really great, you know?
Okay.
So besides like my steak meal, you know, sometime the wife will make it, sometime I'll make it. But outside of that, yeah, I have to make every meal myself.
Wow.
That's why it's a full-time job for me. That's why I truly really don't have time for anything.
Right.
It's literally I wake up, fasted cardio. After fasted cardio.
How much cardio?
30 minutes in the morning when we're kind of getting like close.
Okay.
I'm at 20 minutes right now.
Okay.
But and honestly, my cardio is this last prep, Stairmaster wasn't even a part of my cardio, which was the first time that it's ever been that way. I was literally 30 minutes flat at 0 incline on speed 3, and that was enough cardio for us.
Just walking.
Wow. Yeah, just walking, and it really did great for us.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people over cardio, they don't even realize it. Yeah. You can't do too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy kind of making my food. It makes me stay on track. It makes me stay on schedule. It means that I don't get somewhere and be kind of, now granted, if I have errands to run, then yeah, I'll maybe prepare 2 or 3 meals,
Right.
take them with me because
Got
I
it.
know that I need to eat.
Right, but all in one day.
But
same
this
day.
is one day, yeah, but I'm not ever making food where
the
I'm
week.
having to, for the week. Oh no. No.
Microwave it.
There
and
is no
shit.
there is no way I would not be able to tolerate eating that. Yeah.
What else? Your training. Like,
So the training was just humbling myself, having somebody come in and pretty much tell me like the form that you had before was shit.
your form?
Yes, form.
Damn.
Even though I had good form, I didn't have great form. I didn't have form that was completely conducive to me growing, to me making changes. Also, the way that I train was different with my back, introducing a lot of iso movements into my back training completely changed the way that my back looked. With the chest, just really learning about what it truly means to keep your shoulders rolled back and keep your chest up when you're pushing through a rep, and realizing that I definitely wasn't doing it that way before.
Right.
Yeah, you get a good pump, you get a good workout, but forcing me to really truly have mind muscle connection, to truly understand what it is that I'm trying to achieve through every single repetition. And learning how to push past those mental barriers of, oh, it's hurting, this is enough, and being able to push past that to get those other reps that really make a really big difference. That's what Amanda did for me. The training, being on top of my meals 100%, and then my mentality overall was just that I refuse to take anything less than going to the Olympia. Whatever I have to do to make that possible, I'm willing to do it. If I got to spend all the money in my bank account to do it, then that's what I'm going to do. If I have to completely shut off everybody that I know to do it, that's what I'm going to do.
Quiet the noise.
Whatever I had to do, I was willing to do that. And that's really what a champion mindset is. A lot of people just see the glory, you see the accolades, you see all the praise. I posted something on my Instagram story right before I won, kind of in that in between, with the 2 weeks in between, where it's a guy in a stadium and he's sitting by himself, and it says, "This is the support." And then on the other half, it's the stadium filled with people. This is the congratulations. Because a lot of the time, that's how it is.
You're alone.
The support system that you have when you're trying to achieve it, because for one, most people who smile in your face, they don't actually believe in you. They'll go somewhere and say, "Oh yeah, you're like, he's cool, but he's not going to win anything,
Right.
He's a cool guy, but whatever." A lot of people just don't care to understand what you're going through. People will selfishly put their needs before yours because that's just how humans are. Well, I understand that you're in prep, but what about my feelings?
Right.
What about my feelings? Well, you hurt my feelings, or you didn't call me back, or you didn't text me back. But if you're a real friend, real friends don't worry about things like that. Because if you're my friend and you believe that I'm your friend, then no matter no matter how long I don't speak to you, I should still be your friend when it's said and done.
Right.
And some people don't understand that the loudest support is silence. The loudest support sometimes is just shutting the fuck up. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
It's okay.
Sometimes that is the biggest support that you can give a person, is just being quiet and letting somebody go through their process and not make them feel bad for doing it.
Wow.
Everybody feels like they have to speak. You don't have to be in my ear to push me. Sometimes just knowing that, hey, I can trust you with my peace, for the fact that I have you there when I need you, that you understand what I'm going through. Because 9 times out of 10, if you have never done a prep, No matter how much of the fitness enthusiast you are, no matter how much you say you might go to the gym, no matter how much you study bodybuilding, you will never understand what a competitor goes through to get to that stage.
Yep.
You will never understand it. So sometimes it's not for you to break down this scientific explanation of what it is that I should be doing. Just be quiet and just let me just go through my process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're on the final leg to the show. And you were at 110, sounds like. Where are you pushing it from there, from here?
Oh man,
is there another level?
It's definitely another level. I mean, it's no holds bar at this point. You know what I mean? Like, this month is kind of a busy month for me, but of course I'm gonna stay on my things. But I'm literally building up a nest egg so that a month and a half before the Olympia, minimal travel, minimal anything. Like, I will not do anything that is not completely focused to my prep, period.
Just blinders on, focus, laser focus.
Yeah, not worrying about somebody else in the race that they're running. I'm just running mine. That's all I care about. Because, yes, do I feel like I'm going to go to the Olympia and win? No, it's just not my time yet. But my goal is to make it to the night show. I don't want to just be at the expo in the morning. I want to be able to come back and be under the really nice lights. To do that, you have to bring an amazing physique. These are the best in the world. I may not forever be ranked amongst them, but for right now, in this moment, this year, right, I am considered to be one of the best in the world. Yes. And that's the reality of it.
Yep.
Anybody can say whatever they want to say about it or however you put it. I'm amongst the best in the world, which is such a minute percentage. I mean, so small. So there is literally no excuse. There is no excuse in any way, shape, or form for not giving everything that I have. And, you know, I'm eating a lot more food now, so we can push a little bit harder in the gym. It's just, I'm building from a physique that was already great. That's honestly my biggest advantage in this situation. I've never been able to truly start from the point of like getting off stage, because most of the time, because I didn't qualify, when I'm done competing for the year.
Right.
So now being able to do a proper rebound from a physique that was already great to turning into something that's even better. My weight cap is 177, so we definitely have room to grow. I was only 172 on stage. So I have 5 pounds of play. Doesn't mean that we're going to be 5 pounds heavier, but right, we have some play in there to really bring something super duper nice. So, right, you know,
and are you doing another show between now and then?
Yes. So I'm going to do the Daytona Pro 2 weeks before the Olympia. Because again, me and my coach, we just kind of figured out that sweet spot of, we're gonna look amazing, you know, 2 weeks before the Olympia, but we'll look even more amazing come the Olympia.
Right.
You get all the kinks out the way. I'm not gonna roll the dice and put everything my first time on the Olympia for my peak to be perfect without testing some things out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also, if I was able to win that show, I'm already qualified for 2025.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know, Ben Quill, who's another men's physique pro, he kind of threw the gauntlet down for, you know, a couple guys and said, hey, you know, we're all going to the O. Let's go battle out a couple weeks before the O. Let's see where we stack up.
Okay.
So it should be an exciting show.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if everybody who kind of said that they will.
Right.
But I know that it'll be an exciting show because there'll be some top guys there, and you know, we'll kind of see, you know, how it shakes out.
And it's also, that kind of thing can also be a mental game changer.
Absolutely.
Because if you come in and you get intimidated by how someone else is looking, and you let that affect you.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can get in better shape in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. So you could definitely make changes in 2 weeks for sure. But even just the momentum, it's a strategic thing as well.
Yeah.
You go to that show and you go place in front of some guys who are considered front runners for the Olympia,
That could get in their head.
they're going to take notice is going to be taken to
Yep.
that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Notice is going to be taken to that. It, can help you to say, hey, oh, I didn't really think that maybe I could be that competitive against this person, but I actually am. You know? But stuff like that would just make me push even harder, though. It wouldn't make me dial back. I'll say,
Right.
okay, if I got the advantage now, I need to go work on having an even better advantage in
Right.
a couple of weeks because,
Right.
again, in 2 weeks, a lot can change.
But you said earlier that you didn't say you're not getting into the headspace of winning the Olympia. You're managing your expectations, but you also have a drive that you're going to come at your best. How do you balance those two of like, and let's say you place at the Dotana and show, and you let's say you come in second.
Mhm.
You're going to be like, damn, I can maybe win this shit.
No.
Why?
Only because I'm a realist.
Okay.
It's just not my time yet. You have Ryan Terry. You have Brandon Hendrickson. You have Aaron Banks. You have the guys who are ranked the top in the world. They aren't going to show up looking like shit.
They ain't going nowhere.
They're not going anywhere for right now. So it's not to say that one day I might not be able to beat them, or I might not be able to stand next to them and be competitive, or even place right behind them. It's just being realistic of my goal is to be top 10. I would love to be first call out. I would love to be top 10 at the Olympia. This is my first one. But see, this is the thing about it. I don't have to mentally push all my marbles in on winning the Olympia my first time there, because guess what? I'm going to continue to be there year after year after this. I refuse to not be there year after year after this. So I will have my opportunity to ascend to that position.
Right.
When you feel like that this is your only shot, then yeah, it's like, oh, well, I might not ever make it back. When you know that you maybe made it there on a fluke, or you made it there from some weak show, then yeah, you might feel like that all your marbles are pushed in on this one opportunity.
Right.
I'm going to have multiple opportunities
Right.
to continue to grow my physique and get there. And I would much rather set an expectation than to be disappointed. And if I do even better than what I expected, then I'll embrace being surprised. You know, I'll embrace the fact of saying, okay, you know what? Wow, I've achieved something that I didn't even think that I would achieve. It's not that I don't feel that I could be Mr. Olympia one day, but people sometimes get so caught up in understanding that sometimes it's just not your time just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you rush your recipe because you're thinking that you don't have the time, or you misjudge that it's your time.
Ooh.
You misjudge that it's your time. And then you've taken those tools, those weapons out of your tool bag. And then when it was your time, you don't have those things to use anymore. Now you've squandered your opportunity because you were overzealous, instead of just saying, let me take this in phases.
Right.
But most people don't believe in the longevity of their own self, though.
Right.
And that's the problem. You feel like you have this short window. I feel like that I can be as competitive as long as I want to be competitive. And eventually I will be someone that is, I'm a threat now, but a bona fide, like, Lucky Libra
Contender.
who's won so many shows. Like, he's, no matter where he show up, this is a threat. He has the power to win anywhere that he shows up to, no matter the lineup. I want to be that. I feel that I'm getting very close to being that.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
how
all.
you do it.
That's all it is. It doesn't lessen my motivation. It doesn't mean that I don't want to go to the Olympia and medal. You know, it means none of that. It doesn't mean that I'm doubting myself about what I can do or my ability. But you just have to be realistic. Yes, you can know how to play football. You could be great. You could play in a semi-pro, right? And you could be a great football player. But does it mean that you're going to get on the NFL field and you're going to go score on the best cornerback in the league? You might. There's a possibility that one day you can catch him slipping or something like that, but you would have to put in the work to get to that level. It doesn't mean that you stop. It doesn't mean that you stop working hard, but do you go out there and start talking shit like, oh yeah, like I can come in here and I can just dust everybody? No,
Right.
you don't do that.
Right.
You go out there trying so hard to beat somebody who you know you maybe not be ready for, and then you go and mess up your ACL or get an injury. This is what I mean by you're taking the tools out your bag. You're trying so hard in a situation that you're not prepared for, that had you just took your time and hit the weight room and kept on getting those reps in and reps in and reps in and reps in, a couple years later, you're one of the best wide receivers in the league. You know?
Right.
But
Right.
but
I
because,
love it.
yeah.
Love that.
So it's just
Good
it's just
mindset.
it's just knowing when your time is. And even sometime when you don't think it is, I promise you, God will let you know if it's your time. So even if you're sitting there saying, yeah, you know, it might not be my time, God will come down and say, hey, you know what? No, it's your time now. Embrace it.
Nice.
You know? So you have to believe in that. What's for you will always be. Nothing can take you off the trajectory that God has set for you, no matter what. No person can come and take that away from you. If you're meant to be great, then you'll get there. You know?
Yeah.
It may not be on the same time as somebody
Preach.
else might be there, but sometimes your GPS just takes you a different route. You know, there's more than one ways to get to the same destination.
So, what are some of the cool things that have already happened? I think you got a sponsor recently, right? Like, talk to me.
So, since the last time I saw you, I got sponsored by Global Formulas, which is a really great supplement company. Yeah, you can use my code Marine1 for them, you know, for a discount. I just recently came back from Dallas this past weekend, where I got to hang out with the owner of Gasp.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was really cool. We had a really amazing time. Michael was a super laid-back guy. He made me feel like family when we were there. Until it's inked, you know. I'm not overzealous in the things that I say.
Okay.
But I mean, you see the shirt, you know, the hat. You know, I will be becoming a part of the Gas family, regardless of what capacity that it is. That is a place that I now consider my family.
Nice.
And I look forward to it. I'm almost positive they've never sponsored a men's physique athlete. Most of their athletes are 212 or open bodybuilders. So
Okay.
this would be that's why it's even more special
Yeah.
to me, because it's kind of coming into a new era, you know, that they've never really kind of went into. Of course, I mean, as far as like, you know, affiliates and ambassadors, there are definitely, you know, because they're 20,000 strong in that aspect. There's definitely plenty of men's physique guys out there, but I think as an actual sponsored athlete,
Right.
they've never done the men's physique.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I just, you know, I try not to put my foot in my mouth or just, you know, but yeah, it definitely look, you know.
Because, you know, people out there, there's not much money in bodybuilding unless you build a persona and a career that's got that type of stuff and bigger stuff, right? And is that part of your goal?
Well, honestly, money is cool. Money is cool. Everybody wants to make money. But when I associate myself with a brand, it's not monetary. I have to go somewhere where I feel appreciated as an athlete over anything. Be proud that I'm here just as much as you want me to be proud that, you know, that I have the brand behind me. So that's what's most important for me. That's actually why I really took to the Gas family so much, because their values are set on family. It's not saying, okay, well, we're going to sponsor you, but you need to make this amount in sales, and this. It's not based around money, because if you treat people the right way and you build that family environment, that those type of things will come. All I care about is my brand and being associated with other brands that truly represent the values that I have. Even if a brand came and they said, we're going to give you all this money, but their values don't align with the person that I am, I'm going to pass on an opportunity. And some people might say, oh, no, you go for the money. But in the long run, if I'm building the brand, I'm building Rhyan Clark, Men's Physique Pro, IFBB Pro Olympian, I have to be okay with the things that I post. That's what matters the most to me. The same thing with Global Formulas. We're a very tight-knit family. Jacob lives right here in Las Vegas. He's a really great guy. He does a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes. It's very important for you to treat me as if I'm a valuable piece to the family, to the team, because if I'm just some number, that's not somewhere that I want to be.
Right.
You know, I do pretty well for myself, so more money is always great, but I do well enough for myself that I don't have to chase contracts.
You're not banking on that.
Yeah, I don't have to bank on that, because in my honest opinion, I've just now arrived for where I feel that I'm truly a more valuable asset to a company.
Right.
And that's just being real, because I'm a businessman before anything, so I understand business. Putting somebody there just to put them there is fine, but let a person kind of earn that right a little bit. You know what I mean? I appreciate Global Formulas, because even before I was really anything, they were behind me and pushing me and supported me as an athlete. But, and it's not to say that I wouldn't have been on Gas Radar if I hadn't won a show, but why not? It's a business.
Yeah.
If you want to say, hey, these are the people who we believe in so much that we consider them a sponsored athlete, you want those people to be inspirational. You want those people to look and say, hey, everybody wants to be around a winner. I don't care what you say.
Right.
People love being around winners. Nobody wants to be around the loser. You're going to lose at some point in time. It's all about how you lose. But if you've never been a winner, nobody wants to be around that, because what can you teach me? You can only teach me loss. Some losses are lessons, but if you've never won anything, then your loss is just loss. It's only but so many lessons you can teach me. You can't keep reteaching me how to lose.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right.
That's not a good example. So
Right.
yeah.
Wow, man, it's gonna be really exciting. We've got a few months to go, and we got to get you back on when we have some new information. Like,
no,
that experience is gonna be awesome.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna film like the prep and stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm actually about to start pushing out a lot more content, because I'm actually about to start my accelerated program with my piloting.
Okay.
So doing my piloting and prepping for the Olympia is going to be something that I'm going to make sure I document very thoroughly, just to show, I really want to show people how you can be able to balance two major things at once. You know, it's possible. Very difficult, but it is possible. You know, when I'm flying 5 days a week, but also still making sure I eat my meals, I'm in the gym, I'm doing all these things. But it actually will help give me even more balance and even more structure, because with piloting, because most of the times I fly early in the morning, I have to be in bed by a certain time. I have to have a certain amount of sleep. It's so many things that I just can't mess around with when it comes to being in the plane that align with the things that I have to do with bodybuilding. So it just keeps this very super tight structure that's just there on a daily basis.
Nice.
So, but I'm excited though. I'm excited to show from that perspective of going through my pilot journey, and then also preparing for my first Olympia, and just showing the things that I do that I feel are helpful to me, but also showing the true real reality of how shit really is when you're doing this, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's really not.
Yep.
You really have to kind of You have to be a different type of beast when it comes to being a bodybuilder because, yeah, the
Be
glory.
willing,
Yeah,
like
you
Tomlin
literally-
said.
the glory is this big. The preparation is like this.
That's so true.
It's like this.
Wow, that's a good analogy.
It's the yes. You think about a competitor, right? You're in prep for, on average, if you put your off season and your actual competition prep together, 4 to 6 months, right? For only collectively, let's say if your first call out and you're recalled out, you're in a final call out, collectively 25 minutes.
Tops.
And that's really being extra. 25 minutes for 6 months of preparation. Mentally, you have to be so strong for that. You have to be strong because there isn't really any small victories that you achieve along the way because the stage is the end all be all.
Right.
Everybody looks good standing by themselves.
Right.
But it's what happens when you get on stage. So it just takes a different type of person. That's why this is not for everybody, And I love when I get inboxes from people who are like, oh, I would love to look this way or this or that. Understand that there's a difference between fitness influencers and there's a difference between bodybuilding. You can be a person who's in the gym every day and look great. But bodybuilding is just a whole nother level. It's a level. It's a whole nother level of discipline that most of those people do not have. Because guess what? As a fitness influencer, your job is to be in fitness, but it's also your job to be social and be at the events and have the drinks and do all these things and make it look so super cool.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time where bodybuilding is just, it's boring and it's not fun to watch when it's the preparation because guess what? Most times the hard work isn't exciting.
Yeah.
It isn't. It isn't.
Right.
But again, it's the mass in the water of the iceberg. Yeah, you only see the tip. You see that's the gratification. That's the when you win. That's the everybody's clapping for you. But it's the mass that's in the water that truly keeps you balanced that people don't see. Those early mornings, the times where you don't want to fucking eat the food, when you're eating the same exact thing for months and months and months and months and months. And guess what? Cool. Now we're actually in competition prep. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to eat the same fucking thing over and over again. It's not changing.
Right. But less.
But less, and it's fluctuating. And then, you're on low carbs or you're just, it's so many things. Your body's doing all this weird shit. You introduce gear. Your hormones are doing weird things. Like, it's so much that goes into it. So, yeah, it's just, but I'm happy I'm that person, though.
Yeah, dude.
I absolutely love it. I embrace it. I love it. I wouldn't trade it. I would, a million times over, I would choose the same exact path that I'm on right now because I absolutely love being a bodybuilder. It is my job. If you ask me what I do for a living, I'm going to tell you that I'm a bodybuilder. I would tell you that I'm a bodybuilder before I would tell you that I'm even a pilot. I'm a bodybuilder. That's what I do. That is my job. That's what I do every day. It's a 24/7 job. Those who don't treat it that way, that's the reason why you're in last call-outs. That's the reason why you'll never be an Olympian. That's the reason why this shit is just a hobby to you. This isn't a hobby to me. I don't do this so some chick can look at me and say, oh, well, you're in shape. No, I want to be one of the best in the world.
Wow. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark.
Always,
good to
man.
see you,
We
brother.
always have it's always great being here, man. I always love being here, and I appreciate being on the show again, man.
Yeah, man. We will definitely have you back. It's a good talking to you.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So, all right, Fit Fam. This was a good one. Like, share, write a review. And until next time, Fit Fam, I'm out.